Hey, this is Charlie, and this is a quick video on how to use the interaction animations of the seasons links that I've put up for the Chapter 1 start here. So I'm going to click on the first one, Andrew Marsh. There's a second one. We'll take a look at that one in a minute. So we click on Andrew Marsh. It opens up, and we've got a web page. That's cool. So let's start with the upper left-hand corner. There's a map that allows us to place this little dot, a little place mark, any place we want. Right now it's in England. I don't know why. We're not in England. So I'm just going to zoom in, get a little bit more detail, and I'm going to put the dot right about where Sacramento is. I can zoom in and check my work. There you go. Perfect. I'm going to zoom back out. Okay, so if you live in Sacramento, and I'm assuming you do, you always have to look south to see the subsolar point. To see the sun, you're always looking over the southern horizon. So on this is the upper right. This is the pane that you're going to use to put the little map. It's one of the ways that you can move around where the imaginary city is located, the latitude and longitude. So if we look at the city, I'm going to spin it a little bit and zoom out. So there's a compass. This is north pointing at the North Pole. This is south pointing at the South Pole. And I'm just going to set it for a side view. So if we are in Sacramento and you're looking at the sun's path is indicated by this red line right here. So we always have to look south. We always see the sun over the southern horizon because we are farther north than the Tropic of Cancer. If we were in the tropics, the sun at some point during the year would be directly overhead, and I'll show you what that looks like. So really quickly, I wanted to show you what the sun angle looks like in Sacramento. So now we're looking, south is on the right-hand side of the screen, north is on the left-hand of the side of the screen. And some of the other important things in this, it's telling us when the sun rises and sets. I suppose I could open up the date and time. So this is March 21st. That is for us, the spring solstice, or the spring equinox rather. So let's go to local noon. And so this is what shadows are going to look like in Sacramento on the equinox at noon. It also tells us what day length is, 12 hours 9 minutes. So let's see how that's going to look on the summer solstice. 6 months later, on the summer solstice, you can see the angle of the sun above the horizon. It's much steeper. You can see the shadows. They're tiny. And then if we go back, next up is the fall equinox. So the angle of the sun at noon is lower in the sky. And then finally, the winter solstice. The sun's going to be lower in the sky. The angle is going to be lower by another 23.5 degrees. So going from summer, when the sun's over the Tropic of Capricorn or Tropic of Cancer, summer, Tropic of Cancer, the angle of the sun is roughly a 74-degree angle. And then if we go to fall, which is the same as spring, you can see it's a 51-degree angle. And then if we go to winter, you can see now it's a 27-degree angle. And there's other cool things. This play button will start an animation so you can see the way the shadows would move across the landscape. I'm impatient. Speed that up a little bit. It's dark. It's daytime. Okay, that's pretty good. I think that gives us a pretty good look at Sacramento. Local solar noon. There you go. So Sacramento and the way Sacramento looks in terms of day length. And the altitude of the sun is the angle of the sun above the horizon. So for all those seasonal events, you can find out what the angle of the sun is above the horizon. Pretty cool. Also, then in the lower left-hand corner, this diagram is showing day length, civil twilight, nautical twilight, astronomical twilight, nighty-night. So if we were closer to the equator, let's go to Hawaii. So let's go to Kauai. And the angles of the sun should be more consistent. So let's go to the summer solstice. Oh, man. So our latitude, where did I put us? Oh, 21.9 degrees. So we are we are in the tropics now. We are in the tropics. So on the summer solstice, the sun is more or less directly overhead. You can see there's almost no shadows. If we look over the course of a day, yeah, you get shadows at night, but yep, this is looking south. So that's the way that's going to be if we were on the island of Kauai on the summer solstice. On the equinox, it's going to be 23.5 degrees lower, and then the winter solstice, it's going to be another 23.5 degrees lower. But now you can see even in the wintertime, the angle of the sun is 44 degrees above the horizon. And, you know, some of you might have seen the movie Midsummer. And so let's go to Sweden, and let's go to a high latitude. So let's see where I've put us now. 59. I want to be a little bit higher. 66. So that'll put us actually above the Arctic Circle, just a bit above the Arctic Circle, still within Sweden. Totally legit. So let's see what this is going to look like on the summer solstice. So on the summer solstice, I'm just going to let this play because I think pictures speak louder than words. You pretty much have 24 hours of daylight. So the sun is never even at noon. So if I stop this and go to solar noon, you can see the angle of the sun above the horizon is like 47 degrees. It's got a 24-hour day. That's pretty dope. It's never going to get dark. It looks like the sun is just going to like brush the horizon, but it's coming right back up. So you're looking at a 24-hour day. On the equinox, I have told you, let's stop that. On the equinox, I keep telling you everybody has a 12-hour day. Let's see if that's true. Oh, look, it's true. Although you can see the angle of the sun, it's only 22 degrees above the horizon. So you've got a 12-hour day, really long shadows. But let us now go to the winter solstice. So on the winter solstice, and I'm going to turn it so that as if you were downtown, and again, that red line indicates the length of time that the sun is going to be above the horizon. So if you were in Sweden, or any place above the Arctic Circle, if you're any place above the Arctic Circle, or just on the Arctic Circle, what do you have, 2.5 hours of daylight? But you can see the sun isn't really, not much of a sun. So yeah, your view of the sun at noon. So if I stop that and go to local, if I go to solar noon, you can see your view of the sun would be obscured. As high as it's going to go, it's a degree above the horizon. So it's a degree, one degree above the horizon. That's it. So yeah, you're getting some daylight, but really it's just going to be like a couple hours of twilight. And then wham bam, we're back into night for the rest of the day. That takes care of that. Let's go back. Let's just go right to the equator. So let's go to Ecuador. See if I can get there. 0 degrees. Cool. Okay, so now we're looking south, and let's go to solar noon. And this is the winter solstice. So the sun is actually over the southern horizon. And on the equinoxes then, the sun is directly overhead. Winter solstice. Spring solstice. Summer solstice is actually going to be in the northern horizon, but you can see every day it's like a 12-hour day. Autumn equinox, 12:07. Winter solstice, 12:07. Spring equinox, 12:07. So if you're on the equator, like I said, every day is a 12-hour day. Sun comes up, pretty much is going to be directly overhead all day long. And 12-hour days every single day of your life is pretty much going to be exactly the same. I don't think there's anything else really cool to show you. I hope you liked that. Let's take a look at the other one. The other one, I don't think it's as fun, but it might be more helpful. Okay, now I was going to say, if you're running a Chromebook, this is the way it's going to load. And what you have to do is click up here and allow Flash to run. For whatever reason, Chrome has decided that they hate Flash, and so they don't want you to use it. All right, this animation is way simpler. There's far fewer moving parts. We've got in fact, this animation you saw if you watched the video that I put up about seasons. But here's how you can use it. So you can just grab the sun, or rather grab the Earth, and you can see the subsolar point, and you can check out axial parallelism. In this case, it looks like Polaris is in the upper left-hand corner. You can see the axis of Earth is pointing to the upper left, so now it's got to be northern hemisphere. It's December, and you can check that down here. So we've got this pane. You can click and drag to change the time of year. And you can click, this window allows you to click and drag the little observer, and it tells you the latitude, so we can get the observer up to Sacramento. Close enough. And this bottom right-hand panel is going to show you the angle of the sun above the horizon for that day. Now, unfortunately, this one doesn't let us pick dates, but June, we're coming up on the summer solstice. So you can see the angle of the sun. You can see the position of the subsolar point. You can see the changing position, the changing angle of the sun, and the changing subsolar point. So now it's March. So September, you can see that the subsolar point's on the equator. So they're getting sun coming in at a 90-degree angle. We're getting sunlight at a 38-degree angle. And now it's wintertime. And we're getting sun at a 27-degree angle. Now we're back to spring. And the altitude is the angle of the sun above the horizon. It's 52 degrees. And then the summer, 74. So the angle of the sun for Sacramento is going from, 28 degrees above the horizon to 74 degrees above the horizon, something like that. We could put this little person on the equator. And again, you can see how the sun, in this case, it's over the northern horizon, directly overhead, over the southern horizon, back to directly overhead, back to the northern horizon. We could go farther north and put the little person. You can see the green lines. The green lines are for the Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle. So if you put this little person above the Arctic Circle, and now it's summertime, you can see the angle of the sun. And then in wintertime, you can see like literally the sun's going to set. Boom, bye, see ya. You get no sun for month after month after month after month. Hey, the sun's back. And the sun's going away. In fact, you could do it for the North Pole too. That would be fun. Because you've got, going the right way, you've got 6 months of daylight where the sun comes up a little bit more every day. And then 6 months of darkness. So I think this is a better diagram, a better model to use just for the basics, like getting the idea of axial parallelism and axial tilt. I think this does a really good job of showing that, how axial parallelism works. I think it does a good job of showing the shifting subsolar point and the angle of the sun. So it's a very good introduction. So after I'm done recording, I'll probably change the order so that you see this one, the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, Seasons and Ecliptic Simulator, and then you can move on to the Andrew Marsh that has more bells and whistles and cool things that you can do. So I hope you check those out, and if you have any questions on it, show up to Zoom hours or shoot me an email, give me a text, call me, whatever. Say, hey, could you just bring that up on screen and go through what the basics are? I would love to do that because I think these tools they're great educational tools. So that's it. Good luck with the interactive animations of the seasons.